Welcome to this special edition of the South Shore Press podcast. This one we're doing sports a little bit. Yours truly, Stefan Mihailo, news director, and Tom Barton, sports reporter extraordinaire. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
That's good to hear. Hey, huge topic, and this is obviously national, is kicker Kansas City Chiefs. What is shaking with this kicker, and why is he creating so much national controversy?
My goodness, Stephen, could you imagine that a kicker, an NFL player, an athlete actually had an opinion and he expressed it, and people are losing their minds about his expressed opinion? Obviously, it's not as simple as that, as it never really is, but it is a little bit weird that this time what is being expressed, what is being said, they're not angry, and when I say they, you know, the social media warriors are not angry because he's being silenced. They're actually the ones trying to silence him.
But who is this guy and what did he say?
Harrison Butker is a Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has been consistently throughout his career an advocate for Christian values and specifically Catholic values. He gave a commencement speech last year, 2023, at Georgia Tech, where the left freaked out because he said start families, right? So
the first time he's spoken at a college graduation.
No. As a matter of fact, he alluded to that in his actual speech itself. He said he never thought he would give one again, but because it was a Catholic college, he wanted to specifically give a speech to the Catholic students there.
And now let's take a listen right now to see some of the most recent commencement speech that he gave.
To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity.
So Tom, what were your thoughts when you first heard this?
Well, look, I heard the entire speech in its entirety, and I read the transcript of the speech. There are certainly some things that Harrison Butker said that is going to get a reaction. There are multiple things in this speech that, and again, it doesn't matter if I believe in them or not, that I agreed with and disagreed with. But what is being focused on is the least controversial thing that he said. And that is what is weird to me, is that they could have cherry-picked quite a few things that Harrison Butker said. He went after the church a little bit and said, hey, basically clean up your own house. He definitely went after President Biden. He made remarks that you can say, were a little disparaging against, the Pride Month, against abortion. There was a lot of things that you could have focused on. Instead, the backlash that he's getting is really from women that believe he said, stay barefoot in the kitchen, when he didn't say anything like that.
And let's listen now, and I was able to pull some clips of the radical left and all these progressives basically sucking their thumbs in the fetal position after some of those comments. Let's take a listen.
Like, did he just come here to speak about politics and his views on women? That's all you got for a graduation commencement speech? Are you kidding? But yeah, it was horrible.
And then I forget that this type of person exists everywhere. And this is evangelical Christianity. What he said is so disrespectful, to such a large portion of women. And it's so dismissive. I hope that he is canceled to hell and back. And I feel so sorry that his wife has to sleep with him.
And yet he has the nerve to stand up there and be like, don't go pursuing your dreams of a professional career. What you really want to do is just stay at home and have babies and make sandwiches. While his mom is still a very respected working professional.
So Tom, why do you think this is getting such a visceral reaction from the social media machine?
Ignorance. Pure and utter ignorance. I have spent 2 days now researching this to write the proper story about what has happened. And what I continuously find are people not only misrepresenting what he's saying, but actually putting air quotes on things that he just didn't say. If you wanted to go back and read the transcript and look at the speech itself, It's crazy to me that people would have a problem with things like, hey, the most exciting day of your life is going to be a mother. Yeah, that oh my goodness, that is actually what he said. Then they go on, and a lot of them say, well, he didn't say it about a father. As a matter of fact, one paragraph later, he addressed fathers out there and gentlemen out there of all kinds of ilk and to be a better father. He himself said he's not going to let the NFL or his business ever stop him from being a great father and a great husband. The thing that got me the most crazy here is that people are actually saying, oh my God, he hijacked, a graduation. How dare he say this? Yet, there were 2 standing ovations during his speech. One came at the end, of course, standing ovation. They loved every minute of it. He said it. Well, of course, he's speaking of Catholic values at a Catholic school in front of Catholic students. But the other came an 18-second standing ovation after he specifically addressed women, which is what everybody seems to have a problem with right now. Everyone's very upset with how he addressed women. It got an 18-second standing ovation.
And of course, we can read your editorial, your comments at the southshorepress.com. And again, that website is southshorepress.com. Now, Tom, let's talk about the interesting, not backlash, but how basically, the rubber band snaps back. The left is melting down, but the right, myself excluded, I'm a diehard Bills fan. I can never buy this guy's jersey out of principle. Just because I'm a Bills fan, Tom. I can't do it. But on the flip side, he's also getting huge amounts of support. And isn't his jersey sales just skyrocketing off the charts?
Absolutely. It's funny. My wife put on Facebook and she said, hey, to me, hey, Tom Barton, tagged me in it. I want a jersey of Harrison Butker immediately after he finished. And a couple hours later, I'm getting the notifications that it is one of the highest selling jerseys at NFL.com. Then it took over the highest selling jersey. But here's the interesting thing. The number 1 women's selling jersey, Stefan. A lot of people think he attacked women, and women are running to his aid. Women are running to his defense and saying, why can't I pursue my career and also love the fact that I'm a mother? Why do I have to make that choice? So I don't think that this backlash has had the kind of impact that I think the cancel culture really wanted it to have.
I'm not buying the jersey. I want to buy the jersey so bad, Tom. But speaking of wives, my wife wouldn't even let me in the house with a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. So
you guys have that rivalry. My wife's a Dolphins fan, and she's asking for a Butker jersey. So I think that that's okay.
But let's look at commencement speeches, okay? And again, his teammate actually, Travis Kelce, who again, as a Bills fan, I struggle with. But the guy's a phenomenal tight end. He's a phenomenal football player. But there was such a different reaction when he was on stage, not delivering a commencement, but I think he got one of his degrees, and he chugged a beer, spiked the beer, and everyone went nuts and loved it. But yet, his kicker is getting such a negative backlash for just talking about values at a college campus. Aren't those 2 distinctly different acts and distinctly different reactions?
Yeah, absolutely. You could go past sports. People walked out of Jerry Seinfeld's speech strictly on the basis that he was Jewish, right? People this week, that happened, guys. How about the girl that handcuffed herself and took the diploma and then ripped it up on stage? She was brave. She was courageous. She was fearless. Harrison Butker has an opinion. He's wrong. I actually I read somebody write this on social media, and they said, it is disgusting what he did. And then about 3 sentences later said, what's wrong with the world is that we're judging other people's opinions. And you go, yeah, I kind of agree. You don't have to believe that Harrison Butker is right in what he said, but we have to have the same kind of standards. If you're going to be this appalled at someone speaking and giving their opinion about Christian values in front of a Christian school, maybe we should be just as appalled about the girl standing on stage ripping up her diploma, or them walking out on Jerry Seinfeld, or, like you said, a man-child chugging a beer on stage and kind of spiking his beer. Should we be appalled at that? Those are just personalities coming out. Those are just opinions coming out. But because this man said, hey, be a good father, be a good mother, put family first, that's the outrage. Come on.
Yeah, even 30 years ago, Syracuse University was very expensive for me. If I ripped up my diploma on stage, my family would just beat me senseless. There's no way you're doing that. I'm showing that level of disrespect. And in the NFL, aren't there basically, this woke league, the woke NFL, I mean, it seems though there's a pretty severe backlash. There's a petition calling for the Chiefs to basically cut the kicker. The NFL put out a statement. I mean, it seems like it was very bold for him to publicly make the comments that he did, considering the backlash now that he's facing is pretty severe and swift.
And he had to know it was coming. And he sort of said that, in his... if you read through the transcript, and he said, do things that are hard, and he sort of knew the backlash was coming, of course. But already teammates have already jumped to his aid. Chris Jones was one of the first ones to do so, because how many NFL players out there, Stefan, are making $10 million, $15 million, and their wife is also working? No, they have the luxury that they don't have to work, which is great. But the NFL still felt the need to put out a statement. They still felt a need to address the fact that this man had an opinion when he was not wearing a Kansas City Chiefs uniform, didn't mention the Chiefs in any way, shape, or form, didn't do it on Chiefs property. No, they felt the need to make that statement. Not on Rashid Rice, who, by the way, is a Kansas City Chief, who this week had legal trouble. Not on a guy like Tyreek Hill, who the Chiefs drafted, although he had domestic abuse charges in college, or Tyreek Hill, who just had his 10th baby this year, legitimately. I mean, no, they don't put out those things. We watched Ray Rice punch his girlfriend in the face in an elevator on camera, drag her lifeless body out into the hallway after he punched her, and the NFL took weeks, if not months, to issue some kind of response. They felt the need by their DEI commissioner, which is exactly who wrote this, to address this problem. And this problem of, hey, be a good mother, be a good father, and try to stay together and be a family. Ooh, what a terrible thing to say.
Yeah, it's crazy in this day and age. It's even viewed as a problem. All right, that is Tom Barton, our sports reporter for the South Shore Press. We can find all of your articles on local sports at southshorepress.com and all of our different social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter. Tom, greatly appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.